Monday! Does Monday deserve a yay? Happy Monday! How are you guys today? Are you guys having a lovely day so far? How's the start of your week? How's it going? How's it going? If you'd like to mark yourself present for today's Boomer Summit episode 5, let me see some alien emojis in the chat. I'll take aliens, I'll take UFOs, I'll take anything space related, to be honest. Go ahead and mark yourself present for today's episode of Boomer Summit number 5. Not a lot of yip yap time today. We got a lot to go over. Man. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for giving me an extra day to sort through and like prepare for this stream. Literally after I wanted to do this like in October in preparation for the hearing, but I thought, oh, you know what, let me, because I thought, you know, aliens and like spooky stuff, right? Maybe that might be a little bit fun. And then they like announced the date. I knew that there was going to be a hearing in November, but they didn't say when. Halloween was approaching and, you know, things got kind of busy anyways. And then I saw, oh, the hearing is actually on the 13th, last week Wednesday. So I thought, hey, why not just wait a little bit longer? It'll be past Halloween, but whatever, that's fine. Ethan, welcome. Yeah, a lot of Lamals. That alien, by the way, oops. Ooh, I almost deleted a source. Uh-oh. That alien, by the way, is one of my favorite aliens. I mean, I haven't seen him around since like 2017. I think he still posts on Snapchat or something. But oh, this is my guy Lil Mayo right here. Yeah. He's like, I don't know, dude, like who even controls Lil Mayo? I think I first seen him in, might have been a Filthy Frank video, or maybe Filthy Frank just had something that looked like Lil Mayo, but I think he was like, he was skiing. What was I saying before that? Oh yeah. The UAP hearings, they had it on Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. That is the second time, actually, the US Congress had met to discuss UAP with witness testimonies from, I guess esteemed would be the word for it, esteemed members of the government. Was this that report that was released recently? Yes, they had a report, I guess like a write-up that was released recently, as well as some testimonials. But don't fret, I will be here to guide you through some of the interesting things. I listened to the hearing live last week, took down some notes, and did a little bit of like background info on aliens. Here, let me start from the beginning. I've always been interested in aliens. How about you guys? Do you guys, let me actually set up a poll. Do you guys believe in extraterrestrial life? Start a poll right now, yes or no? Do you guys believe in extraterrestrial life? I don't know if I like necessarily believed it growing up. I think I was like, you know, on the hopium that they existed. I always thought that it was really interesting to see aliens, hear about them and stuff. But I feel like in the last, I don't know, maybe like 10 years or so, it's become less of a hypothetical and more of a probability. Like I feel like, you know, the more that we learn about the world outside of Earth, the galaxies, the stars, and all the other planets out there, and the more we learned about the universe, I think that, you know, statistically, it should be possible. If there's no proof for it, or wait, for me, if there's no proof for it, or if they not exist. Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you gotta show me the proof. I think a lot of what we're going to go over today is less concrete and more he said, she said. So it's very likely, I'm going to ask this question again at the end of the stream. It's very likely that your opinion may change or may not change by the end of the stream, especially if you already believe. If you already believe, then this might just affirm your beliefs. If you don't believe, then who knows? Maybe this might change your mind, or the lack of concrete evidence won't. We're basically just kind of going over, people just saying under oath what they know. But we have, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, pretty exciting, I feel like. I think life outside of Earth is more than likely. However, I'm not so sure about visitors from space. Right, because you gotta assume, not only are the visitors from space, you have to assume that the life outside of space, well, A, that there is life outside of space, sorry. You have to assume, A, there is life outside of Earth, and B, that they are intelligent enough to make the trek all the way out here. It's not like we are, I don't think we have many neighbors, or at least that hasn't been confirmed yet. But they were able to reach enough intelligence to pop their way on over here. Yeah. Personally, I feel as though the probability of us being the only life out there is so small. I agree. Actually, I think this might as well just be, you know, let's just pop it off. Let's just head over there. I did make a little document for you guys. You can access it with the command !source. I just sort of pasted all the links that I referenced in making this presentation. So it's not really like organized or anything, but if there's anything that you want to look further into, or just need like a jumping point to hop into this rabbit hole, go ahead, take a look. I did write a little disclaimer that I enjoyed. I liked the disclaimer that I wrote, so I'm gonna read it again. And I think this is just a nice general disclaimer when following rabbit holes or conspiracy theories in general. You know, everything that I've linked, you can use it as a jumping board to dive into the rabbit hole yourself, but don't forget to double check your sources and think critically about who is posting what and why. Conspiracy theories are fun, but I think that sort of where they lie is just that they are, you know, something to have fun with. I see that I am losing a little bit of internet. Give me a second. My internet's been a little bad this weekend, so I apologize if there are any, like, issues, I guess, like stuttering and stuff. I can also share this document at the very end if you guys want. I can share this in the Discord if you guys like. If I do run into too many issues. Discord. It usually gets, like, a little wonky for a little bit, and then it will be smooth sailing, so we'll just see how this pans out. Yeah, stream is lagging a little bit. My internet has not been too hot lately. Another point is that we're too small, or they aren't advanced enough to do space travel. Yes, exactly. They may or may not care about us, but I have a couple of reasons for why they might care. I'm keeping an eye out on the internet. My internet was, like, awful yesterday. But it was completely fine when I was doing research, so fingers are crossed. We'll just be a little bit speed bump, okay? Just a little speed bump for a little bit. Stuttering majorly, oh no. Oh no. Should I continue a little bit of light yapping? Maybe I'll continue some light yapping before I get too deep into the stuff. Hello, Spider-Man. Hello, Papa. Hi, Hill. You like to mark yourself present, by the way, for today's stream. Let me see some alien emojis. Oh, in the chat. I accidentally unplugged my headset. Internet. I mean, it looks fine on my stream. Okay, I don't know. I have it pulled up on my phone, and it looks iffy. It's okay. All right, just bear with me. All right, guys. If anything, like I said, I have the sources pulled up, and you guys can access that with !source. I'll also tell you guys about that at the end of the stream. And you know, if it's too awful throughout the whole time, I'll also just share the PowerPoints with you guys in the Discord. You guys can look through it yourself just without my yapping and commentary, I guess. Inochi, welcome. Hoot evening. How are you hooting? I'm hooting. I'm hooting quite well. We are about to dive into the great conspiracy of how the world might change forever. Spoiler alert. The aliens are disappointed in us. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me move down here. Down here. I'm so sad. I always see it's like the red bars on the bottom. I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I feel like when you're living in a big city and you have Spectrum internet, you can't quite rely on them, unfortunately. Fuck Spectrum. Alright, Alright. Let me go ahead and close the poll. Because 80% of you guys do believe in extraterrestrial life, and 20% of you guys don't believe. Which I think is quite higher than the average. I thought that maybe it was a popular opinion to believe. I mean, I think on our stream it seems like a popular opinion to believe, but when I was looking at like some of the responses to the recent hearing, a lot of people were skeptical. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that at all. Okie dokie. Let's get into it. Let's get it. Na 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 na. Oh, for two. Wait. Wait. Oops, that one. Canva had a little bit of they're a little bit cranky when looking at my slides, so I have 24 slides. Us and it's not in order. It's not in order. Alright, sorry. Let me try and just add the files manually. Open. Okay. Alright. Delete that one. Now we're gonna add it manually. Delete. Add files. Ta-da! Okay, because I think this ties rather well into our next question. Okay, here we go. So when we talked about do you believe in extraterrestrial life, I found this quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson from his book Death by Black Hole. He said, if our solar system is not unusual, then there are so many planets in the universe that, for example, they outnumber the sum of all sounds and words ever uttered by every human who has ever lived. To declare that Earth must be the only planet with life in the universe would be inexcusably big-headed of us. I thought that was very profound, considering the recent news that we've heard. The low frame rate is the government trying to shut me down. Witness intimidation! The conspiracy is real, folks. They're disappointed because of how many stupid people we have on. You know what? I might agree with that. Based on what I'm going to show you guys, I think so. Vocab list. I found this to be pretty interesting. This page from the US Department of Defense was actually just released. It was just released. Let me pull this down. Have it? Can I let me test this out? I accidentally closed out of it. Oh no, here it is. Da-da-da-da. Alright, so I found this when I was just trying to look up what exactly UAP was, because at first it was titled what is it? Unidentified aerial phenomena. But they recently, I think about 2 years ago, changed from UFO to UAP, as in unidentified aerial phenomenon, to unidentified anomalous phenomena. Specifically, this is from the US Department of Defense. Released on November 14th, the day after the UAP hearing. The part that I found particularly interesting was right here. Some background on the UAP naming convention. In 1952, the Air Force used the term unidentified flying objects, or UFO, which most people still use outside of government agencies. In 2022, UAP stood for unidentified aerial phenomena. However, that term didn't include underwater objects. So the new term, with the same abbreviation, now stands for unidentified anomalous phenomena. How interesting that they had the need to clarify that it's not just flying objects, but also underwater objects that they are investigating. They do have a government organization called AARO, called the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. That was brought up a couple times during the hearing, but to be honest, I cannot jump into that rabbit hole of what AARO is, who they are, besides that they are a government agency, part of the Department of Defense. You know, they are dedicated to like researching this kind of stuff. But yeah. More stars in the sky than the grains of sands at the beach. Yes, that's very true. It's very true. I always thought, like, wouldn't it be neat if aliens came over and we got to use their internet? I show them so much stuff. But I don't think they'd be very interested. I think I'm probably for the rest of the stream. Have a good rest of your stream. Thanks for stopping by, Ethan. It really means a lot. Stay vigilant. Stay curious. Be skeptical. Okay, alrighty. So first, let's just go into a couple of UFO sightings. There were so many that I wanted to jump into, but these are the primary three that I wanted to go into. Specifically, the 1561 celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg is like one of the first UAP sightings on the Wikipedia list. We'll talk about that a little bit. Kenneth Arnold's UFO sighting in 1947 actually sort of sparked not just national, but I guess international interest in back then called flying saucers. And subsequently after that, there was the whole Roswell, New Mexico craze. The whole incident with Roswell, New Mexico, which led to accelerating the flying saucer craze. Oh my god, the government is hacking my speech too. They don't want me to they don't want me to deliver this information to you guys coherently. Do we leave the Aero iceberg for another day? Maybe I could look into it. If I find it interesting enough. Some government stuff is just, you know, just work. It's just exactly what it is, boring government stuff. And their papers are a pain in the ass to sift through too. Alright, let's go ahead and start over with the 1561 celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg. You know, back in the day, they saw a like this they described it as an intense aerial battle at dawn, involving hundreds of spheres, cylinders, and odd-shaped objects moving erratically in the sky. The event culminated with the appearance of a large black triangular object, followed by smaller spheres falling to the ground in clouds of smoke. A lot of the people were very confused. I mean, this is this is 1561. Imagine seeing just things out there in the sky. This is the manuscript that they wrote on it. And let me go ahead and read it out loud. The text of the broadsheet has been translated by Ilse von Jacobi as follows. In the morning of April 14th, 1561, at daybreak between 4 and 5 a.m., a dreadful apparition occurred on the sun, and then this was seen in Nuremberg, the city before the gates, and in the country. Oh, this was seen in Nuremberg in the city, before the gates and in the country, by many men and women. At first, there appeared in the middle of the sun 2 blood-red semicircular arcs, just like the moon in its last quarter. And in the sun, above and below, and on both sides, the color was blood. There stood a round ball of partly dull, partly black, rose color. Likewise, there stood on both sides, as a torus, about the sun, drenched the blood-red ones, and other balls in large number, about 3 in a line, and 4 in a square, and some alone. In between these globes were visible blood-red crosses, between which there were blood-red strips becoming thicker to the rear. Thicker to the rear, that's me. And in the middle front, malleable like rods of reed grass, which were intermingled among them, 2 big rods, one on the right, the other to the left. And within the small and big rods there were 3, also 4 more globes. These all started to fight among themselves, so that the globes, which were first in the sun, flew out to the ones standing on both sides. Thereafter, the globes standing outside the sun, and the small and large rods, flew into the sun. Besides, the globes flew back and forth among themselves, and fought vehemently with each other for an hour. And when the conflict in and again out of the sun was most intense, they became fatigued to such an extent that they all, as said above, fell from the sun down upon earth, as if they all burned. And they then wasted away on earth with immense smoke. After all this, there was something like a black spear, very long and thick, sighted. The shaft pointed to the east, the points pointed to the west. Whatever such signs mean, God alone knows, although we have seen, shortly one after another, many kinds of signs on the heaven, which are sent to us by the Almighty God, to bring us to repentance. We still are, unfortunately, so ungrateful that we despise such high signs and miracles of God. Or we speak of them with ridicule and discard them to the wind, in order that God may send us a frightening punishment on account of our ungratefulness. After all, the God-fearing will by no means discard these signs, but will take it to heart as a warning of their merciful Father in heaven, will mend their lives and faithfully beg God that He may avert His wrath, including the well-deserved punishments on us, so that we may temporarily here and perpetually there live as His children. For it may God grant us help. Amen. Okay, Hans. Hans got real existential quite there at the end. But who can blame him? Can you imagine seeing a supposedly intergalactic battle? A galactic battle, maybe? A space battle? Literally Star Wars. They got the episode 0. They literally Star Wars up in your sky. Obviously, this was like 500 years ago. No way to prove it. It could be mass hysteria, even though they did say quite a few people witnessed this. But the current scientific explanation for this is perhaps it is a phenomenon called the sundog. This is one of the explanations. I didn't look behind the science part because I didn't care for it. I was just like, sundog. Right, yeah, you know, it's what do you call it? Atmospheric phenomenon? I believe you. What do I know? Actually, there's a lot of, this is one of the first, but this is one of the ones that I thought was most interesting. Let me go ahead and show you the whole Wikipedia list of all the sightings that they have recorded. Alright, list of reported UFO sightings. You have stuff that dates all the way back to antiquity, 1450 BC. Things in Egypt, you got stuff in Rome, like sparks flying from the sky. You got an airship. But I thought that this one seemed to be the most... I don't know. I just like that they had the picture. I thought it was pretty neat. Yes, like it just keeps on going too. But you can really see that for one reason or another, it really starts to pick up in the 20th century. Could it be because people are paying attention to the skies? Could it be a result of the flying saucer craze of 1947? Or could it be other reasons? Maybe there is an event that triggered extraterrestrials' interest in our world. Let me set up my screen to be a little bit more comfortable. I am sitting here switching between like 5 windows. Just 1 second. Okay. Alright. Okay, awesome. Alright. The government is hacking my ears. It sounds like you're calling me pee-pee poop. Yeah, they're hijacking this broadcast to make sure that none of the sounds that I make today are coherent. Looks like you heard the sirens in the back. Oh, they're here! Imagine a farmer peasant with the super fox. I know, seeing an alien battle must have been insane. I mean, maybe they were like... My headcanon for this is that the aliens maybe were scuffling about how they want to interact with humanity, and they ended up, you know, getting a little bit too... They ended up fighting. Maybe like one of the alien species was like, hey man, I'm gonna just go over there and tell them that we're here. And then another guy was like, nah. Maybe the people in the Black Arrow ship, maybe they're like, you know, like the galactic overlords. And like, no, that's against the law, you motherfucker. That's my headcanon, at least. Alright, okay, alright, let's keep it going. So yeah, after that, you have Kenneth Arnold's 1947 sighting on June 24th, 1947. Pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 shiny, unidentified flying objects near Mount Rainier, Washington. He estimated that their speeds were over 1,200 miles per hour. He was actually flying his own plane. He's a private pilot. And he was flying. You can read the story in the attached screenshot. But yeah, this incident is often credited with sparking the modern UFO phenomenon, including subsequently Roswell, New Mexico incident, which happened the same year, 1947. Actually, a month later, because this happened in June, Roswell happened in July. Arnold actually... was pretty frustrated with the lack of official government investigation into his reports, and he said that there's like a big gap in governmental response to explaining unexplained aerial phenomena. And we can get into a little bit later why this is a major issue. You can see right here, this is sort of the map of what he explained, the location of the planes and the sighted object. So he was flying around over here, and he saw them going really, really fast over there. The objects arrived from the direction of Mount Baker, then passed in front of Mount Rainier and Mount Adams in the space of 1 minute and 42 seconds. The 47 miles, which is also 76 kilometers distance, if measured peak to peak, suggests a speed of 1,650 miles per hour, also known as 2,660 kilometers per hour, which is similar to his estimate of around 1.7. I think he said 1.2 in the other Wikipedia, but you know, the wiki probably just didn't know the sources. Either way, it was crazy fast, and he was, you know, rightfully concerned. You can see over here, his reports were actually corroborated. In July 4th, 1947, the Oregon Journal also received a letter from an L.G. Bernier, some guy who lives in Washington, which is pretty close to the mountains, Mount Adams and Mount Rainier that was mentioned. He said that he saw 3 of the strange objects flying over Richard, flying almost edgewise toward Mount Rainier, about 1/2 hour before Arnold saw them. Bernier thought that the 3 were part of a larger formation. He indicated that they were traveling at high speed. He said, "I have seen a P-38 appear seemingly on one horizon and then gone to the opposite horizon in no time at all. But these discs certainly were traveling faster than any P-38 that he's seen." No doubt Mr. Arnold saw them just a few seconds or minutes later according to their speed. The previous day, Bernier had also spoken to his local newspaper and was among the first witnesses to suggest extraterrestrial origins. He told them directly, "I believe it may be a visitor from another planet." I'm from this area, never heard this story. It's one of, I think maybe it gets overshadowed by the Roswell, New Mexico incident because that happened a month later. But this is, one of the Kickstarters, I guess, catalysts for the UFO craze of 1947, of the 20th century. Maybe I should move on this side. But then I'm gonna be looking over here. Alright, if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at my notes, okay? Another woman named Ethel Wheelhouse, who lived about 60 miles northwest of Richard, in Yakima, Washington. I remember Yakima. That's where iCarly was going to at the end of the series. And she's like, "I don't want to go to Yakima." She reported seeing several flying discs moving at fantastic speeds at around the same time as Arnold's sightings. When the military intelligence began investigating Arnold's sighting in early July, they found yet another witness from the area, a member of the Washington State Forest Service who had been on fire watch at a tower in the Diamond Gap, which is around 20 miles south of Yakima. He said that he saw flashes at 3 p.m. on the 24th over Mount Rainier, which is exactly the same time that Kenneth Arnold had said he saw these strange phenomena in the skies. And yeah, another person also said that they saw 9 shiny discs flash by to the north, and other newspapers in Seattle also reported other sights and like flashing lights and stuff. And the primary corroborative sighting, however, appeared 10 days later, when a United Airlines crew over Idaho en route to Seattle also spotted 5 to 9 disc-like objects that paced their plane for 10 to 15 minutes before suddenly disappearing. Rainier. Okay. I think that's all for Rainier. So no more chances for me to learn how to pronounce it correctly. But thank you for the correction. Yes. So you have Kenneth Arnold come out and say, "Hey, I saw something weird," and then as the story, made its rounds in the local newspapers, a lot of people also said, "Hey, I saw something kind of freaky too." But sometimes people just think that they see things in the sky. Going after that is the Roswell incident. Yes. Should I go back over here? You know what? Sorry, I'm just gonna cover the pictures. I know you guys are probably interested in seeing, but you can use !source to get the full document. Not this PowerPoint presentation, but for actually, can I show that actually? Here, give me a sec. Just give me 1 second. You know what? I'll do it at the end. I'll share it at Discord. Because I could upload the whole PowerPoint here right now if you guys want. Maybe I'll do that. And then let me just change this link. Share. Anyone with the link can view. Copy link. And okay, updated. Alright, so if you guys want access to both this PowerPoint and the whole list of sources. You can use exclamation mark. I should have done sauce. I was gonna say fact check, but I don't even know if you can call this fact checks. It's just like random stuff I found on the internet. You can use exclamation mark source, and then you'll have access to the Google Drive where I uploaded the slides and list of links that I referenced. Okay, anyways, so on July of 1947, 1 month after Kenneth Arnold saw those UAP, a rancher in Roswell, New Mexico discovered debris on his land that sparked speculation of a UFO crash. He informed his sheriff, the local sheriff, who called the Roswell Army Airfield, the RAAF. At the time, they were the only military unit capable of delivering nuclear weapons. So the RAAF initially announced that they had recovered a flying disc, which fueled widespread media interest and a lot of speculation of UFOs and aliens coming to Earth visiting us. So officially on July 8th, the RAAF Public Information Officer Walter Halt issued a press release stating that the military had recovered, and I quote, a flying disc near Roswell. Robert Porter, who is an RAAF flight engineer, was part of the crew who loaded what he was told was a flying saucer onto the flight bound for the Fort Worth Army Field in Texas. He described the material packaged in wrapping paper when he received it as lightweight and not too large to fit inside of the trunk of a car. And then the station director, George Walsh, broke the news over Roswell radio station KSWS and relayed it to the Associated Press. And then when he did that, his phone lines were just completely overwhelmed. Of course, a lot of people had a lot of interest in this. Oh, interesting. When the military quickly retracted their statement, stating that the debris was actually collected from a water balloon, part of a secret program called Project Mogul, which was designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests. That incident, along with the rise of sightings in 1947, sort of spurred a lot of subsequent sightings and a lot of other people calling in being like, oh, I saw something weird in the sky too. Sometimes people like to troll a little bit, so you can have a mix of stuff that is both real and a hoax, and also just spurred a lot of outlandish conspiracy theories. Who knows? Maybe the government, they did retrieve a spy balloon or a weather balloon, and they just didn't want to release that information yet because it is a threat of national security when you're talking about technology that you're developing, and releasing that as public information. So maybe that could be why they quickly retracted their statement. Regardless, the story of Roswell itself became a modern myth and folklore. But yeah, I think this craze led to... I think the craze and the cultural climate and the lack of evidence resulted in the current stigma of believing or lack of belief in extraterrestrial life forms. In 1952 to 1969, in response to the surge of UFO sightings, the US Air Force initiated Project Blue Book, which was to investigate and analyze these reports. Over its duration, the project compiled over 12,000 sightings, with a significant number of them remaining unexplained. In 1953, a year after they launched Project Blue Book, the CIA convened the Robertson Panel, which is amidst the growing interest and concern about UFOs, they sort of just made this thing called the Robertson Panel, which was to evaluate the UFO situation and Project Blue Book. The panel recommended a public education campaign to reduce public interest in UFOs, fearing that mass hysteria could pose a threat to national security. I mean, this is like the Cold War era too, so there's quite a bit of paranoia going on this time. But, when things are getting a little crazy, I brought out my, I have my tinfoil hat. Dun 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 dun! When things get a little crazy, I'm gonna put this on. I might not necessarily believe it, but hey, a tinfoil hat is sort of the sign of, this is a theory. An alien theory. Okay, so maybe tinfoil hat time. Maybe they convened the Robertson panel because that's when the government decided that they wanted to start shielding the public from this information. Because the public of the 1950s, they could barely handle each other. What makes you think that they can handle the news that other life forms have visited Earth? Dun dun dun! And then the lie just kept going. They're just like, oh well, we've been lying for this long, and you know, they can never predict smartphones. They can never predict that everybody's gonna have a camera, right? So maybe they just kept lying. But now the truth has to come out. At least that's what we can think. A quick tangent. Have you guys ever heard of this guy called Skinny Bob? Have you guys ever heard of Skinny Bob? I guess before we get into Skinny Bob, let me continue with some of these pictures. Yeah, here you can see the retrieval guys taking a look at some of the material from the UFO, allegedly. I mean, personally, I agree. It probably was a weather balloon. I think with the Cold War sensitivities, it makes a lot of sense that they would say something and then retract it. If you just look at that material, I don't know. It just doesn't feel very like... Doesn't feel like it can really withstand the travels of space, of cross-spatial travel. But maybe UFOs or UAPs don't need to travel across space. That's another thing we'll get into. Okay. Putting this back on. Have you guys ever heard of a guy named Skinny Bob? We're gonna get an ad? Oh no. Okay. So Skinny Bob is supposedly a video leaked by some guy in the KGB, I don't know, of an alien, I guess, a great alien. They say that these aliens are, what are they called? Zeta reticulans? They're... I came across, I didn't know that there's extraterrestrials.fandom.com. A whole other rabbit hole that, personally, I don't quite believe this. But I thought, oh, they have like a whole rabbit hole, like the different species of aliens. That's interesting. Okay, cool. I don't know, man. Some of our ships are protected by thin oil-sensitive foils. Like my tinfoil hat? Could my tinfoil hat be secretly alien technology? Is that why it's protecting me from the government? Okay, well they said that the species of alien is one of the species that they retrieved at the Roswell incident, and there is a quote-unquote a very real video out there that I'm actually about to show you guys right now. I don't think it's real, just FYI. But I thought, you know, if he is real, if this is real, he's so cute. He's so cute, man. He's so adorable. These were released in 2011, leaked in 2011. A lot of people were like, oh, but you know, it looks like digitally altered. But people were also like, oh, maybe they digitally altered it because, you know, they want to, I don't know. It's digitally altered on purpose. I forgot the reason why. But you have like some of this stuff. I don't really quite know what they're taking a photo of here, but I think this is from like, oh, this is 23. Is it supposed to be 1923? Rest in peace to that guy. Shout out you, Mr. Dead Alien Man, who died maybe 100 years ago. It sucks, but I'm sorry. I hope your family, is very proud of your accomplishments, traveling to another, another planet. The funny thing is that they said that nobody has claimed responsibility for this video since it was released in 2011. Oh yeah, here it is. Tapes from 1942 to 1946. Supposedly. Supposedly. I'm an alien. Lucid found me in a glacier. Does that make me the Avatar? Alright, here comes Skinny Bob. I don't think it's real at all. But I did think that he was, I don't know, it's incredibly cute. If aliens came down to Earth and they look like that, I think I would be a little bit disappointed that they look so much like the, you know, what we expected them to. He's so cute. Oh my. Hi, Bob. Yeah, let's say hi to Bob. Hi, Bob. I hope you enjoyed your time here on Earth if you did really visit. I think that's probably like the best video of Bob. They just have this. It's so cute. Oh, his face. It's like a chibi. It's like a chibi, honestly. Chibi come to life. Look at that. Look at his little smile. Look at his lips. Alien, you look like this. Come visit me and let's hang out. Alright. Enough with the tinfoil hat stuff. We have more to discuss. We have much more to discuss. We have barely even scratched the surface. And that means I gotta hurry up. Alright, we're finally getting into the meat of things, the nitty-gritty, the very fun, very maybe I'll be this small. Yeah, maybe I'll be small like this. The very fun, very recent UAP congressional hearings. But first, what exactly is a congressional hearing? A hearing is a meeting or session of a Senate, House, Joint or Special Committee of Congress, usually open to the public, to obtain information and opinions on proposed legislation, conduct an investigation, or evaluate/oversee the activities of a government department, or the implementation of federal law. In addition, hearings may also be purely exploratory in nature, providing testimony and data about topics of current interest. Lovely work on the slides. Thank you. This is the Canva template. I edited it slightly, but I appreciate the kind words. It would be funny if we did get the image of aliens right. Like, who the heck was telling the truth, or was it a coincidence? Right? I mean, I've always thought like, oh, they look so, you know, like unbelievable. Like, I thought that maybe they'd be so foreign to us growing up on a different planet. But if they look anything like Skinny Bob, we'll go over that when we talk into the hearing. But if they look anything like Skinny Bob, it's I mean, hey, you know what? I'm kind of glad that we're sort of like, I think a Skinny Bob-esque alien is probably something that we can ease into. Maybe that's why they're sending these guys over. Maybe that's why they're sending these guys over to us, because they kind of look like us, and they're like, oh, well, you know, if you guys get seen, maybe they won't be as scared. Okay, all right. Oh, wait. Let me go back. This isn't really, I'm just gonna keep it on this slide because I sort of want to talk back about the Cold War era. So during the Cold War era and throughout the Cold War, numerous UFO sightings were reported near nuclear facilities, which I thought was really interesting. For instance, in 1967, former US Air Force personnel claimed that UFOs deactivated nuclear missiles at the Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, which raised concerns about national security. This was pulled from CBS News, but I did not. I don't know where I didn't copy the link. I didn't copy the link on accident. But that was reported by CBS News, 1967. There was a lot of reported alien activity near nuclear crash sites. Before we hop into the hearing, we have a user submission. I was asking for user submissions, but it turns out not a lot of you guys have had UAP or UFO experiences. We only got one from Naomi Cielo, of all people. Nay, she submitted a user submission about her UEP or UFO experience. So she says this. I was getting dropped off at the airport like 3 weeks ago. I was in Miami, Florida, and I saw a stationary thing in the sky. I didn't get a picture, but there were stars, planes, etc. around, but the stationary thing in the sky, weird shape that was definitely not a helicopter. It has a diluted light and not that of a regular aircraft around it. The shape of the UFO was that of a razor ripstick. Razor ripstick. Sounds similar to like, I know that some of the shapes that they talked about, like triangles, they mentioned orbs, they mentioned cigar shapes in the hearings, as well as a very interesting jellyfish shape. But yeah, they saw some strange lights in the sky 3 weeks ago. Ooh. My mom had a similar hearing, or not hearing, a similar witness story about 10 years ago? I think 10, not 10 years ago, maybe like 20 years ago. She was with her best friend. They were hanging out, looking up at the sky, and they saw lights in the sky moving erratically. Not in the way that you would see like planes or anything, just moving really fast and erratically, which I think is sort of the bulk of UFO experiences or UFO adjacent experiences. So a lot of people don't really know how to describe it. You can just pass it off as like, oh, maybe it was a weird star or something. Very interesting stuff though. In the Washington story, I think you mentioned Richland, which was involved in the Manhattan Project. Oh, really? Yeah, there's actually a lot of links, more than you would think, of UAP and nuclear test sites. I think that there was one, but it didn't really have like that much. I don't know. It didn't really feel like too concrete to me. It felt a little bit more of a conspiracy. About the Trinity tests and a UAP like crashing over there or something like that, where they did the testing for the atomic bomb. So, interesting. That's actually a pretty good segue into a quick little thing that we're gonna do next. So, stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome to I actually have a surprise guest for you guys. Surprise guest, do you mind Oh my god! An alien! Hey.
There we go. Greetings to me. Birthday. Hi. Alien. Real. Can I stop moving myself for a second? I don't need to stop. I don't need to stop right now, alien. Stop right now. There we go.
Oh my god, no way, it's a real alien, holy shit, I can't believe it.
Yes, I am very excited to tell you about the long time ago. Millennia ago, before even humans been around here, we saw this little planet and we were like, oh my gosh, this looks like it's popping with like a lot of life. So we parked over there in the ocean, actually watching dinosaurs. Very cool to watch. Very, very cool. You know, they fought a little. I love that dinosaur ride. I wish it didn't come back. But then the Sapiens came around, and then that's when things. Oh no. Like, you know, they were like that. Kind of neat. Some rise to power, but you know, yeah, things that kind of interesting. Interesting and intense. For some reason or another, it seems she's not like very old, not killing it, or all that kind of stuff. Not gonna lie, we got a little bit when things started happening. We stayed back, we're like, you know what, let's let them fight out their ways, maybe they'll learn. But then, we got concerned. Yeah, when that happened, that was kind of, that wasn't cool. So it's like, get this, you know, life in the universe is rare. It's rare as fuck. And on this little blue dot, one species dead set on ruining Earth for everybody else. I mean, you know, starting to think like, if they're not gonna clean up their act, then we might have to do it for them. So, take care of your planet, everybody. Alien out.
Wow. Premonition. That really.
I just want to tell you guys, take care of your planet. Life is rare. So, make sure that you don't fuck it up for the rest of the species on here, alright? Alright? Or else we're gonna come in here. Come in here. We're gonna take over and tell you guys what to do. Alright? So if you guys want to keep your autonomy, get your act together!
Wow. So scary. Would have thought. Would have thought that the. All right. Well, that's enough from our. Back to things. I don't hear you. I don't hear you, girl. maybe my there we go. Maybe this is better. Maybe my volume was too low. All right. Just give me a second to appear back in here. You didn't see that. Alrighty, okay, going to talk about the congressional hearings. So yeah, a congressional hearing, it's usually open to the public, blah blah blah, opinions, proposed legislation. I think it is a big deal that the government has decided to take this seriously, to be honest, and hearing out some esteemed members of our military, our government, and our government agencies. Let me drink some water. And get my pages back up. All right. So breaking down the congressional hearing. So in 2023, July of 2023 was the groundmark whistleblower hearing, where the witnesses testified under oath that the U.S. had recovered non-human biologics from a UFO crash site, former intel officers said. This is pulled directly from, let me go ahead and show you guys the link. NPR. I try to pick, like if I'm picking news sources, I try to pick one that I feel is rather reputable. I feel that NPR does a pretty good job at like reporting on these things. But this was, yeah. Basically, this is one of the first hearings where I don't know if we're gonna read this. Yeah, I don't kind of want to read it, but they basically had the, what do you call them? The testifiers? The testifiers, right? The testifiers were Ryan Graves, who's the executive director of Americans for Safe Aerospace, retired Air Force Major David Grush, and retired Navy Commander David Fravor. They were sworn in during a House Oversight and Accountability Subcommittee hearing on UFOs on Wednesday. This was last year, July, in the summer. And I remember during this time, this is sort of when I first started, like, you know, listening about this news. They did confirm, like, yeah, we have UAP. Yes, we have recovered non-human biologics from alleged crash sites. And they also talked about secret government organizations that are reverse engineering what they recover, the technology that they recover from these crash sites. But I just wanted to show you guys that you can watch the whole subcommittee hearing on the GOP Oversight Committee YouTube channel, I guess. And then also just by going to the link, like I said, !source to access all the links. And then you can also use !source to access the PowerPoint that we're going over. Alright, so this is the big one. This is the big one that we're gonna talk about. It is the November 13th, 2024 2024 hearing. Here are some of the key revelations. Well, before I get into that, actually, maybe I'll move over here. I think I don't know, I'll stay over here. Sorry, Lou. Louis Elizondo is one of the guys. I wanted to give this disclaimer that some of the people involved in this UAP hearing, such as, I think the hearing was led by a senator. Sorry, I don't know her. She's a representative. Let me look. She is the representative of South Carolina, Miss Nancy Mace. She is selling UAP merch. Louis Elizondo, the guy pictured here, one of the guys testifying, he is also he also recently published a book on disclosure called Imminent, talking about things that he can talk about regarding UAPs, UFOs, etc., NHIs. So I just kind of want to note that, hey, these people are selling merch, so it could be a grift, but at the same time, I sort of question what would their motivation be for lying. I think that maybe both things could be true at the same time. Maybe there could be, you know, legitimate basis behind these claims, and then they also want to make some money. So, you know, you just use that to inform your opinion on what's going to be said. Unknown to even the government, this is why the Pentagon keeps failing audits. It's kind of called a black budget. We'll go into that a little bit later too. Regardless, you know, interest in this is huge. Sorry, I'm gonna be like switching between a lot of windows right now because I have a lot of videos to show you guys. A lot of clips from this hearing.
Interest in this.
So let's go ahead and start with this one. The interest in this is huge. Take a look at this.
The interest in this topic, again, is enormous. This is the line from just members of the general public, excuse us, I'm sorry, to get into this hearing. Now, Marnie, I've covered probably hundreds of congressional hearings. This doesn't happen. I've only seen a line like this to get into a hearing one time, and it was last year for the UAP hearing back in July of 2023. So obviously this topic, don't need to show you, more about how much people are interested in it. Now, today, I think what we're going to see is lawmakers and the witnesses try to move the ball forward and take this topic from something that was maybe once taboo or not talked about as much, more into the mainstream. The interest...
I think that's one of the important things to consider regarding this case. Not case, I guess, regarding this hearing. And the hearing before that is that it's one of the possible ways that the government might be trying to disclose to us that there is intelligent life outside of our known world that are communicating or at least interacting with our species or our planet. What was I trying to say on top of that? Yeah, it is a open hearing. So one of the frustrating things that I thought during this hearing when I was listening to it was that they did say a lot of stuff, but they also said a lot of like, I can't say that, I prefer to say that in a closed hearing. So yeah, we might bump into that a little bit. Anyways, key revelations from this November 13th, 2024 hearing from last week. They did say that 100% the US government is hiding information on UAPs from the public. I wonder if it's just easier for me to just have the videos pulled up instead.
Briefly.
Wait. That way I don't have to like keep switching the tab. Maybe I might do that instead. Here you go.
Do you believe, just for the record, that the federal government, any part of the federal government, is knowingly concealing evidence about UAPs from the public?
Yes, sir.
100%.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. I also want to just go down the line. I know many of you have already said this, but just for the record again, just briefly, what do you believe UAPs could be or are?
Strong evidence that they are non-human, higher intelligence.
I echo my colleague's comment, sir.
Genuinely do not know.
Don't know, but we must find out.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate those answers, gentlemen. I think this is obviously another, briefly, do you believe, just for the record?
That's them unanimously confirming that the government is hiding UAP and non-human intelligence from the general public. They also confirmed the existence of Immaculate Constellation. This was like a conspiracy that I was just sort of like, you heard about it if you're familiar with the UAP, I guess, fandom. They kind of tossed around this word before, but it was just sort of like, I don't know, like, is this real? There was no proof on it until this hearing when they confirmed that the Immaculate Constellation, which is a secret government organization studying UAPs and non-human intelligence, reportedly unknown even to the government, that exists. They do retrieval and reverse engineering programs. So confirmation that these programs do exist to recover and analyze UAP technology. Some details only disclosed in closed sessions, or prefer to be disclosed in closed sessions. That is what Luis Elizondo said. There's also a lot of PSYOPs allegations, claims that individuals are spreading disinformation to discredit UAP investigations. I'm going to go into that in just a second. Let me show you guys what Immaculate Constellation is. So we don't have like the full write-up on what exactly is going on with it, but you can see on this webpage, on the representative Nancy Mace's webpage, that she does link the full 11-page document that was shared with her by, let me get their names. Let me tell you who's involved in this hearing. Okay. So you can also go to the House Oversight. If you just look up November 13th UAP hearing, you'll find it. But yeah, the witnesses, you have Dr. Tim Gallaudet, who is a Rear Admiral from the US Navy, retired, also the CEO of Ocean STL Consulting. You have Louis Elizondo, who is an author. Like I said, he did have that book that came out this year, and he went on like a huge media, like a press tour. So consider that. He's also a former Department of Defense official. He worked for the DoD. You have Michael Gold, who is a former NASA Associate Administrator of Space Policy and Partnerships, and a current member of the NASA UAP Independent Study Team. And then you also have Michael Schellenberger, who is the one who did the write-up on Immaculate Constellation, who is the founder of Public. Public is... like, I guess his organization, I guess, I don't know. But when you go to this link, which is included in the source document, you can see all of their testimonies uploaded here, their official testimonies. Yeah. Here, let me talk about the mentions of witness intimidation before we jump into all the stuff about Immaculate Constellation. So there have been a lot of claims that individuals are spreading information to discredit UAP investigations, as well as witness intimidation. In Lou's testimony specifically on this second page, he said, where is it on here? Here he says, a small cadre within our own government involved in the UAP topic has created a culture of suppression and intimidation that I have personally been victim to, along with many of my former colleagues. This includes unwarranted criminal investigations, harassment, and efforts to destroy one's credibility. So, tinfoil hat. Maybe he's lying. Maybe he's just trying to tell a story to sell his book. Maybe he's just trying to discredit. I don't really know like about the harassments and stuff that he's talking about. I didn't jump that far into the rabbit hole to see like what he might be talking about. But I don't know. He might have his own reasons for saying this, or maybe that there is an attempt to suppress this information from coming out to the public. Who knows? Ooh, spooky. This was also corroborated by one of the officials who was doing asking the questions, another representative. And let me share that with you guys as well.
People not wanting us. We're met with people not wanting us to have hearings. We're met with people not wanting us to ask you questions. In fact, many of us were told not to ask some of you certain questions on certain topics. We're met with...
That was one of the things that I thought interesting. And by the way, if you're not like, satisfied with these clips, they do have the whole hearing up on YouTube. I think it's about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, same as the last one. Super interesting read. Not read, but listen. Like, even if you're just like mildly curious, just have it on in the background while you work. Something might pick your interest. Okay. All right. I'm getting excited. This is the exciting part for me. Alrighty. Moving from here. Another thing is that perhaps they're not from space. I don't have the clip for this, but I know that I'm pretty sure it was mentioned that they have. Okay, maybe I could be confusing like stuff that I read online with things that were mentioned in the hearing. But I believe that they did say in the hearing that they theorize that UAPs originate from Earth or are deployed from hidden locations. One of the popular theories is that there is a UAP deployment site that existed as far back as 4000 BCE, where they sort of assemble these mission-specific, like tailored for specific missions, sort of aircraft to go deploy them to I guess like probe for information and stuff. So actually they did mention this in the hearing, or maybe it was in Louis Elizondo's book. But they said what was it? They're like they saw like a researching sort of UAP, and when they investigated the trunk of it, they had, you know, like research materials that they can use. But yeah. Matt, welcome. Also VTuber 35P Hololine. Welcome. Hello. Do you guys believe? You guys believe in aliens? I'm here to convince you that the government knows that they exist and that they're hiding it from the rest of us. Space Dimensional are already here. Poll. We had a poll earlier that asked if you believe. 80% said yes, 20% said no. But I will be asking again at the end of the stream once we have all this information laid out for us. To continue on. Yeah. So they said they have their high performance vehicles that exceed 1 to 3,000 Gs. The human body can withstand, I think it was like 6 to 9 Gs before suffering from like fatal injuries or error. But they specifically mentioned in the hearing that yeah, 1 to 3,000 Gs. Let's take a look at the clip.
Ma'am, I'm not
Oh, there's
qualified
subtitles? I didn't know I could click on
as a
that.
Scientist or otherwise to
Oh, they
speculate
can't see it.
points of origin.
Right.
I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration, which was one of the observables of the program that I belong to, ATIP, the human body can withstand about 9 G forces for a short period of time before you suffer negative biological consequences, blackouts and ultimately redouts and even death. Comparison, our best technology, the F-16, which is this older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So can you speak on that at all?
Sorry that some of the videos are a little quiet. These were clips that came out the day of, so like immediately after. So maybe not the best quality overall, but like I said, you could do !source to get all of these links and take a look at them yourself. All right. Alright, so UAPs and national security. I think this is probably one of the biggest reasons for the government to take a look into and study this sort of phenomena. So for example, the surveillance of energy and nuclear sites, as we have discussed earlier, specifically with the Kenneth Arnold incidents and the we said that was tied to the Manhattan Project, yeah? And I think especially with the increased sightings of UAPs during the Cold War, I think that I saw just a passing theory that, that aliens prevented a nuclear disaster in the Cold War. Wouldn't that be nice of them? Hey guys, don't press that button. Be nice to each other, okay? And we actually did. So that's kind of cool. Maybe not like super nice to each other, but at least we're not throwing nukes around anymore, yeah? So yeah, there's a decades-long UAP activity reported near U.S. energy and nuclear facilities. There's actually been recent drone incursions in Langley Air Force Base right outside of Virginia and Washington, D.C. I saw these get posted in real time. I don't know, it could just be lights. It could be... well, actually, it's not just lights. The government did confirm that there were drones that were hovering above... I think the article I said that they were around there for like 17 days, like a little over 2 weeks. But there were drones hovering above the Air Force Base. Regardless if it's aliens or not, this is a massive concern for when it comes to national security. Like they weren't able to trace back who these drones belong to or why they were there. or at least they haven't told anybody why yet. But it is rather concerning that these were able to, you know, hover around and speculate around our military bases for such a long time. Don't you think? Yes, and you have like a lot. You have a lot of people in the comments corroborating that they saw something similar. But who knows? Maybe they're just going after those nice updudes. You never know. So yeah, the sightings and interference near Langley Air Force Base. So there's concerns about adversaries reverse engineering UAP technology, suggesting that it is like technology that is beyond human involvement, right? You don't want your adversaries to get technology that's more advanced than your own. Alternatively, if it is other humans being involved in this technology, like that's also another matter of concern. Like, what is it? How'd they get it so fast? Like, what's going on here, right? Elizondo, he said he's uncertain if UAPs are alive, but they use energy sources that humans cannot replicate. Another thing that he mentioned is that US contractors. Well, another thing that he didn't mention, I think his silence was rather telling for this, but US contractors in possession of this technology, question mark? Let's go ahead and take a look at it a little bit more.
Did secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, yes or no?
Yes.
Does the U.S. government have any reverse, okay, we've already answered that question about retrieval programs. Do any U.S. contractors have the same?
I would prefer to address that in a closed session, ma'am.
Okay. In your book, you mentioned government employees who've been injured by UAPs placed on leave and receiving government compensation for their injuries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How can the government deny we have recovered craft if they're paying people because they've been injured by recovered craft?
Ma'am, that's a great question. That's why I think we're here again, because I've seen the documentation by the U.S. government for several of these individuals who have sustained injuries as a result of a UAP incident.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash?
Interesting. How interesting. Personally, I'm not a fan of US contractors being in possession of this technology. They specifically mentioned companies such as Lockheed Martin, which I know that we're all aware they produce a lot of war tech. So I think another concern is that this advanced technology will be used not against our invaders, I guess observers, but rather used against each other. Jesse, welcome. Do you believe in aliens? If not, I'm about to make you believe. I don't know. Will I? welcome. They also talked about the like they mentioned, if the government program doesn't exist, if they're not retrieving, if they say that they're not retrieving crash like data and stuff from like crash sites, why are they paying out money to people injured in these crash sites? I think that's a very valid question to raise. Black budgets are a thing in the government, a very normal thing in the government. It's called a black budget or covert appropriation. It's a government budget that is allocated for classified or other secret operations of the state. In terms of security, I guess maybe you don't really want much of a trail when it comes to very top secret stuff, because you never know what's going to leak. You never know what might be tipped off to your adversaries and pose a threat to your nation's citizens. But at the same time, I don't know. It's a little odd that they are paying money for those injured. In the process of retrieving these aircrafts, yet they're denying the existence of these aircraft, right? And you're probably thinking like, oh, what kind of injuries might they sustain? Well, they mentioned specifically in the hearing, sorry, I don't have the clip for it, but like I said, you can listen to the hearing yourself. It's on YouTube. It's also on the House Oversight website. But they said that the effects on pilots, is it the pilots? For like those who are near the aircraft, who get close enough to the aircraft, they get a lot of biological, I guess, sort of injury. A lot of physical symptoms such as sensations of hot and cold, insomnia, paranoia, and anxiety that lasts throughout their, I guess, like throughout. Let me look at my exact notes. Paranoia and anxiety, yeah, basically just lasts like for a while after they interact with the aircraft. So the government pays them to go on leave, and yeah. How am I doing today? I'm doing really well. I hope you're doing well too. All right. And apparently as well, they have decades of data. A single source database that is managed by the Department of Defense and the White House. And NASA also has an archive that includes photos, videos, and accounts. Let's talk about this a little bit more specifically. Or let's not talk about it, but we'll watch the clip. listen to the words what they said in the hearing.
What's the key takeaway, just a few seconds, about the Immaculate Constellation document you provided us today?
I think that what the American people need to know is that the U.S. military and intelligence community are sitting on a huge amount of visual and other information, still photos, video photos, other sensor information, and they have for a very long time. And it's not those fuzzy photos and videos that we've been given. There's very clear
high res,
high resolution.
How many visuals, graphics, videos, photos?
I mean, I've been told hundreds, maybe thousands. I mean, I also wanted to say, because there was some conversation around concern around the revealing of these materials, revealing the source collections, but some of these are shot from helicopters using normal videos of oceans. I just think that's absurd that somehow you're going to be revealing some secret U.S. technology by revealing that you've photographed orbs off the coast of Kuwait.
Okay, thank you. I have 8 seconds. Mr. Gold, did the NASA independent study team get briefed on what you call OSAP? Very quickly.
I flagged the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Application Program to our chair and our DFO. We did not get briefed, but I believe it is definitely worth looking into. That was probably the largest UAP review effort ever, and I think produced a lot of interest data, including revealing limits. I don't know if my fellow witness Lou might want to, he did yeoman's work on it, might want to comment.
Very interesting stuff. Hundreds, if not thousands, of clear footage of the existence of UAPs. And did you notice that they mentioned the ocean again? I think that they did allude to the idea of UAP sort of construction base being in the bottom of the ocean. Which is kind of ridiculous to think about. But at the same time, if there's anywhere that you're gonna put a base, and we're not checking our oceans like that, so I know an awful lot about this. I fallen into this conspiracy theory, I would say, during the first hearing, about a year and a half ago, during the July 2023 hearing. I didn't really listen to it, but I was like, oh, that's interesting, like UFO news. I think that's when I joined the subreddit, and r/UFOs has been sort of giving me a couple of things of what to expect when this hearing came out. There's some stuff that I saw on the subreddit first and then heard confirmed, I guess, or heard reiterated during this UAP hearing. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, interesting. Like, that must be... Is there truth? I don't know if there's truth to it, but, here's another thing that they mentioned of regarding data that we have. It's the right link. Get the right link. I got the wrong link. Give me a sec. Copy. Paste.
In the discussions, it's simply about material, or is there discussion about it was previously testified that there's biologics that were collected. Are you aware of any of that?
I am, sir, aware of the reporting that biologics have been recovered. Again, my focus was more nuts and bolts, looking at the physical aspects of these phenomenon, how they interacted around military equities and nuclear equities. So I'm certainly not a medical expert. I would not be able to probably provide you a whole lot of value in that simply because I don't have the expertise.
But was anything described as that we have possession of bodies?
Yes, yes.
We have is it multiple types of creatures or?
Sir, I couldn't answer that. I can tell you anecdotally that it was discussed quite a bit when I was at the Pentagon. The problem is the supposed collection of these biological samples occurred before my time, in fact, before I was even born.
And was this part of the Lockheed Martin discussion, or was this the biologics is a completely separate?
Separate yet related.
Okay. Has anyone made contact?
Sir, I'm sorry, could you specify?
Has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form?
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal meaning, when a Russian reconnaissance aircraft comes into U.S. airspace, we scramble 2 F-22s, and we are certainly communicating intent and capability. I think the same goes with this. We have these things that are being observed over controlled U.S. airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious they have the ability to even interfere with our nuclear equities and our nuclear readiness.
All right, interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff that they mentioned there. Not only have they collected biologics from these crash retrieval sites, another thing that I thought was interesting was that he said that it is related to the Lockheed Martin topic with like the biologic collection. So I think that it's safe to assume possibly that Lockheed Martin or these external like government contractors are in possession of out of this world technology, which is a little scary. And then the last thing that he confirmed is that we have made communication attempt. We have non-verbally communicated with these life forms, non-human intelligence, biologic intelligence or not. That they have communicated their intent to interfere with our nuclear weaponry or nuclear power. They clearly have some sort of interest around our involvement with like nuclear items. Sorry, I don't have the robust vocabulary to describe these things so well. Wasn't there something about some type of mold or bacteria? Wait, really? I didn't see anything about that. Oh man, that's really interesting. Outside of the ISS? Oh, that's so cool. Wait, okay, I would look it up right now, but that's send us on another tangent. But I will look at that later. Did they say like clearly like not from here, right? The mold or bacteria. I think they also said something about a cloud. Was it like a cloud that they found on Mars? Like one planet in our solar system, I think, had a cloud recently. I just saw a picture. I didn't really look too into it. All right. Next, they did talk a lot about, like they said, the communication with the intelligence. But what exactly do they mean by non-human intelligence, right? So they did say that there is strong evidence that points to UAPs being controlled by higher intelligence or incomprehensible entities. One thing that was mentioned in Lou Elizondo's book, well, I only heard this like direct quote being passed around on Reddit. I didn't read the book myself, but he's sort of aligned with the idea that they're the zookeepers, we're the animals. Zookeepers, they observe the animals. They're not really like friends with the animals, but you know, they're willing to step in if things get a little bit too hectic. If you go take a look at the source PDF with exclamation mark source, if you look in there, there was a 4chan whistleblower back in April of 2023, a few months right before the first congressional hearing on UAPs, who basically he mentioned a similar sort of relationship that we have with the aliens. He said that he used the term specifically that they're the zookeepers and we're the animals, and this is later corroborated. This corroborated mean that he had to like know the story? Lou Elizondo said the same thing. He mentioned there's a lot of similarities between what the 4chan leaker had mentioned and a lot of the stuff that was mentioned in the UAP hearing and a lot of stuff mentioned in Louis Elizondo's book. Yeah. I shared both the 4chan like full page, I guess, like the full archive, but you know, if you're not really interested in sifting through like the 4chan-ness of 4chan, then I also have linked the PDF, which I think kind of trims out some of the more unsavory things. But let's go ahead and go back to the non-human intelligence topic, right? Here we have a clip of everybody talking about what they believe or how they would describe non-human intelligence.
To these aircraft being piloted by...
Sorry, let me rewind.
Mr. Elizondo, in regards to these aircraft being piloted by whatever they might be, non-human biologics, would you agree that it's likely that they are being piloted by some mind-body connection?
Ma'am, I think it is safe to presume here that they are being intelligently controlled because they, some cases, seem to anticipate our maneuvers, and in other cases they seem to, I came across an email where the word "stalked" was used in a very secure email between Navy officers discussing their ships being pursued by a UAP.
In our previous panel, we had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
Ma'am, I'm not qualified, certainly as a scientist or otherwise, to speculate points of origin. I looked at everything from a scientific perspective. So if you look at, for example, instantaneous acceleration, which was one of the observables of the program that I belong to, ATIP, the human body can withstand about 9 G-forces for a short period of time before you suffer negative biological consequences, blackouts and ultimately redouts and even death. Comparison, our best technology, the F-16, which is one of this older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G-forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
So are you, I guess, would it be safe to infer that they're living craft?
You know, I'm not prepared at this point to state for the record is something alive or not, because even that definition is hard. There was a time in science we thought that life required oxygen, and we now know that's not true. There are anaerobic bacteria that thrive in oxygen environments that lack oxygen. And so also same with photosynthesis. When I was in college, I was told everything is derived from photosynthesis as a form of energy. In reality, that's not true. There are things that live off of chemosynthesis. So we're constantly having to reevaluate our understanding of what the definition of life is.
That's actually very interesting that he was like, I don't know if I want to say if it's alive or not. What is life? What is he talking about? What does that mean? I never actually caught that one before, and that's the first time it really made me think about it. Here's another one. Where they go down the line and they ask about the NHI.
How would you define, each of you, my last question, how would you define non-human biologics, non-human intelligence? What are we actually talking about? Admiral, and we'll go down the line.
I don't think it's a stretch when you look at the diversity of life on this planet and the size of this universe to think that there would be more diverse, higher order, non-human intelligences throughout the universe, and that's probably what's visiting us.
I would take the scientific approach. The definition would be the ability to react to a stimulus in a manner that requires an intellectual thought process.
I just don't know.
I think we must be modest in our assumptions that we're looking for intelligence. That could be biological, it might not.
Non-biological, but what non-biological intelligence, what does that mean though?
Artificial intelligence, ML, machines. We assume that all intelligence would be like us, and every time we look out in the universe, we are humbled relative to what we don't know in terms of the forms of intelligence and what it may take. I can assure you I probably can't ask you your question, but I think the ultimate answer is going to surprise us all.
And then Mr. Garcia, you had a few closing remarks.
Interesting. So the last guy seems, I feel like what I gathered from his response is that him and Lou Elizondo, who mentioned, oh yeah, it reacts to a stimulus, a higher power. AI? Could it be some sort of weird biological, like, AI hybrid that's coming to visit us? Perhaps it could also be aliens sending down probes to make sure that we're not fucking up our environment. Because like I said, they are very, very, very concerned with our nuclear technology and capabilities. I mean, personally, I would be too. Ever since I was young in school, they always said, hey, you know, if we have another nuclear war, that's it for the planet. Maybe they have a reason to be concerned after all. Yeah, man. Okay, all right. Another thing that I thought was interesting is I'm going to leave the tinfoil hat on for this one. They confirmed in the Immaculate Constellation document, in that 12-page document, the shapes of some UAPs, one of them being the jellyfish UAP, which I thought was rather interesting because I think, was it a year ago or maybe like earlier this year, way before this hearing, there were images of jellyfish UAP that were circulating online. One specifically in Afghanistan, captured by, I think it was the US military. I really don't know how I feel about this photo. I don't really think that it's real. I think, you know, with the growth of AI, like image generation, it's definitely very like, you can't really trust everything that you're seeing online. It could be very much like, you know, made to be this way of like, you know, it looks like somebody took a picture of, you know, on their laptop you have the file name over here and stuff, and it looks pretty decent, I guess, if maybe, but who knows? A lot of people in the comments were like, these photos don't look remotely alike, which I also thought too. It could also be like, there's like other videos in the subreddit where you have a silhouette that really resembles the jellyfish UAP, but later is proven to be just balloons. Not saying that this one is balloons, but it is possible that other ones that seem to corroborate this image could be balloons. But the shape of the UAP, and not necessarily photos or anything, but they did mention jellyfish-shaped UAP in the Immaculate Constellation document. For those, if you're just joining us, the Immaculate Constellation is a secret government program, I think hidden from even the government, about retrieving, studying, reverse engineering, you know, extraterrestrial technology. Perhaps extraterrestrial. There is the theory that these originate from our oceans. It sounds crazy saying it out loud. That there is a secret base in our ocean that the aliens, perhaps with their, if they are AI, you know, that they send them out. I need to keep this tinfoil hat on, actually. I sound crazy. As I'm saying this, I'm just like, oh god. Here is another article that corroborates the story. This is actually called the Corbel Jellyfish. This is from USA Today. To be honest, I really couldn't find a whole lot of articles referencing this specific UAP. Looks like a Mylar radar target. What is a Mylar? Stupid ads. Mylar radar target. Oh, like these things? What are those? I never seen so little images come up before. Okay, all right. So yeah, they just said that an unidentified flying object seen in a video flying over a U.S. operations base in Iraq has officially been named the Jellyfish UAP. This was back in January 2011, which is probably when I first saw this video, according to UFO enthusiast Jeremy Corbell. Yeah, so just note that this article is taken from, I think this is the source. This guy who is basically just like a UFO influencer, I guess. I really don't know. Hello? I was looking at that. I really don't know like too much about God, I fucking hate the state of the internet nowadays. It's all of these ads, bro. Well, anyways, let's just take a look at the video. He's just, you know, take it with a grain of salt. This is the original source. This is where the video was traced back to. This is what was linked in this document, or in this article. And he says, today we released the raw footage of a military-filmed UAP incursion within a U.S. joint operations base. This UAP of unknown origin displayed transmedium capability and has been officially designated by the United States intelligence agencies as UAP. But just note that when I was looking at this, like, I really couldn't find too many, I guess, like, reputable sources, I guess, you know? Just maybe, like, the cash grabby article here and there. That's really all that I saw. Yeah, Project Blue Book, it was Immaculate Constellation. They came up with some really nice names. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this video. I believe they said that this was captured with heats, with like a heat camera. So when the UAP is changing colors, that's sort of its heat signature. But I don't know too much about this stuff changing. But you can see, like, with the animals, I saw there was like a cow back there, and some of the people, they'll appear black. And then sometimes the UAP, right now, I guess it must be super cold if it's white. And then I think you can see people right here and stuff. But, you know, regardless if this is not just real or fake, but a from our planet or off our planet, if it is the doing of humans or not, it is a concern that, you know, something unknown to us is able to fly so close to our military operations. If you are from America. Our. Either way, yeah, probably doing a little bit of reconnaissance, trying to see what's up. Look, you can see the people. You can see the people over there walking as this is floating through. I really don't know what to believe about this one. I think it is... I don't know. I think it is a little interesting. I don't know. A little interesting. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the jellyfish UFO because I don't really like how they look. I think that they look... oh! I closed that of my tabs. I think the one that I was looking at. Cancel! Don't close it! Don't close it! Bring it back! Bring it back! It's okay. I'll just look on this side. Weirdo! Welcome, welcome! You come in peace? That's good to know. Looks like an oversized drone. It kind of does, doesn't it? I think that the shape of the legs... let's look back at it, yeah? Maybe we can compare. I did think that its shape does sort of resemble what we saw here, right? You see this? Is it with the legs? Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I think what really like bothers me about this is that this whole part just seems a little bit inefficient. Like, it just looks like bad cable management to me. Like, surely they could do a little bit better than that, but who knows? Maybe it has a purpose that is beyond my understanding. But I think, like, when you look at this, right? It's so blurry. But you can kind of make it out, right? I mean, I don't know. This one's legs look a lot longer than that one. I don't know. Either way. Interesting. Very, very interesting. a shiny Mike Waz Pokemon. Mike Waz Pokemon? Like Mike Wazowski? Mike Wazowski. What if it is? I mean, like, I guess with this one, if there is, like, I got sort of a, I'm not gonna say chills because it's not like I fully believe this, right? But a bit of an uncanny feeling because it does, if you think of alien technology, this looks like alien technology, you know? A flying saucer, yeah, maybe we're just like as desensitized to flying saucers, but this looks like it's from outer space. I remember seeing this one a lot last year. This one really made waves, which surprises me because personally I'm not really quite sure, because I think that the source, this guy Jeremy Corbell, this guy not quite sure how I feel, yeah, because this whole thing is just about posting about aliens, so okie dokie. Okie dokie. We're almost done with this, actually. This is, I thought we would go for like a super long time, but I was able to manage this quite well. Okay, so the takeaways from this congressional hearing. I would say that the focus of this hearing is not about proving alien existence, but rather shifting, I guess, maybe taking away the stigma of studying these anomalies. Because, you know, if it is alien technology, if it is aliens visiting us, and they are, you know, crashing in spots throughout the globe, it is a bit of a concern if our adversaries are able to get a hold of this technology. It is also a bit of concern if it's not alien technology, but rather something made here on Earth by humans. You know, it's kind of concerning, and that could be a reason why the government is hiding this information from the public, because A, it could prove a mass failure on their part when it comes to national security. It could prove like to be that there is a wide gap in their I don't know, you know. I think it's also kind of concerning that the government is accused of hiding UAP information from the public. Not just the public, but also other members of the government. As we did hear earlier, that the some of the congressional representatives were warned to stay away from certain questions or topics. Lou Elizondo also specifically mentioned being targeted for harassments and like unwarranted like criminal investigations and stuff like that. A lot of talks of witness intimidation. Yeah. I at least for me, I think my biggest concern is the fact that they didn't confirm this outright, but I do feel like their silence was golden in alluding to the idea that U.S. government contractors are in possession of technology that is beyond our public, you know, understanding. If it is from aliens, okay, cool. I would rather everybody know, but if they develop this themselves in secret and they just don't want to release it to the public, you know, some of the things that people are seeing up in the sky are kind of crazy. I think it's a little concerning if they have made such far advancements, especially like Elizondo mentioned that these aircraft are powered by, what did he say specifically? I'm gonna go back. He said that they're powered by energy sources that humans cannot replicate. You know, I think energy is like a big concern for all of us. We are using energy as we speak to light our houses, to watch the stream, to connect to the internet. I think if there is like a new source of energy that could be much more efficient than what we're using now, especially with concerns about the environment continuing to bud, I think that information should be available to the public. Maybe not all of it, but you know, at least some of it would be nice. Either way, I don't know. Alright, let's go back over here. Level of flight over distance, no burning bits. Wonder if it was visible or just IR. Wait, what's IR? Infrared? Infrared? It did kind of seem like it looked like translucent as it was moving across the sky, but I assume that it's because that they were capturing it with like a heat camera. I also know that like some of the alien like photos and like videos and stuff, the UAP photos and videos, they said is being withheld specifically because of the method that it was captured with technology that they don't really, you know, want people to talk or want out to the public as a security measure. Security really makes things a little complicated, huh? But yeah, the last but not least, I think this hearing raises way more questions than it does answers, which hopefully leaves room for further investigation and discussion. If you didn't know, actually, I've been seeing a lot of traction on this currently. This topic, UAPs, UFOs, all this sort of stuff. I'll save that for the end, actually. I was gonna go focus on another thing, but I'll save that for the end. If you want a confirmation from somebody not from the hearing, because like I said, perhaps their motivations are mixed, you know? Some of the representatives, especially this lady whose tweet that I screen grabbed, she is selling merch about this hearing on her website, and Elizondo also just recently released a book on disclosure called Imminent. I heard it was a good read, but like I said, he's been going on a massive press tour about this. Maybe to spread the word, maybe just to make some sales. Who knows? But there is a another confirmation from Carl Nell, a retired Army colonel. Let me go ahead and pull up his credentials real quick. I've also linked this in the document, as well as the full sort of what do you call it? I guess like workshop, like a chat. This little talk from this. I've linked the whole thing onto here. But yeah, he is a retired Army colonel. Oh yeah, I was gonna look up his credentials. Right here, for aerospace executive, senior military officer, and corporate strategist at SALT. What is SALT anyways? SALT is a community of the world's foremost investors, creators, and thinkers. I guess it's just, yeah, that's Mark Cuban. I don't know, I guess it's just guys, rich guys sitting in chairs and talking about stuff that they did for work. Either way, this is another guy corroborating the idea that NHI, has been here.
I was involved with the UAP task force, which maybe is the most apropos for this discussion.
And so, Carl, here's the million-dollar question. Do you believe that a higher form of non-human intelligence has visited this planet?
Right. So, non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing. And there are unelected people in the government that are aware of that.
And so, Carl, that is quite a bold statement. I'm wondering, and I'm curious, how confident are you that that is true?
There's zero doubt.
And
zero doubt. And he said that with the same certainty that we saw in the UAP hearings when they went down the line. Is the government aware of NHI, non-human intelligence, and are they hiding it from the public? 100%, without a doubt. Yes, yes, yes. That's what they all said. I also thought it was really interesting that he said that a number of non-elected officials know about this. I think he might be alluding to some of the secret government organizations that was hidden from, I think, even like staff of the White House and stuff. I don't know. I didn't dive that deep into it, but yeah. Interesting rabbit hole to jump into. All right. And then, yes. Here is a theory of icebergs, okay? Well, from all that we've chatted about today, I want to ask you guys, which theory do you guys find the most plausible? Let me type this in real quick. Oh no! A concern for. Okay. I had to crop this a little bit because there's a word limit. Okay, alright. Here's the theory iceberg. At the top, I sort of put in I really don't know if this would be like a non-theory though, or like a top of the iceberg theory, but I put on here, it's not aliens, it's us. The technology that we've been seeing are not aliens, it's us. Yeah, the possibilities aren't mutually exclusive, but you know, feel free to just click on whatever you gravitate towards. I know that like some of these might just overlap, so yeah, just go ahead and click whatever you're gravitating towards. I'll go ahead and put a timer on. There we go. I'll put a timer on, and then yeah, the poll will end at that point. So the first one, it's not aliens, it's us. You know, the Lockheed and similar companies probably made some crazy advancements in science and are withholding potentially life-changing information from the public. There are claims that the US military and other nations are reverse engineering this tech to build weaponry, and I believe that they also confirmed that that the US is not the only ones in possession of this technology, which I think is kind of scary. I guess the fact that other nations are also in possession of this tech would mean that I think that makes it less likely that it's us, you know? I feel like it makes it less likely. I mean, unless we're just being kind of careless and we're like crashing stuff over and or maybe somebody else developed it and it crashed over here and they're being careless and like not retrieving it. I don't know. It's really interesting. Either way, I think if humans are the one that made these crazy advancements in technology and are choosing to withhold this information from the public, I think that seems a lot scarier personally. In the middle of the iceberg, I put down that it is the aliens are acting as environmental guardians, preventing ecological destruction because they're very interested in the life that inhabits Earth. Not just the humans, but you know, all life that inhabits Earth. I think that also lines up with the idea that they are monitoring our nuclear capabilities. There was an increased amount of sightings in the post-nuclear age. As well as, you know, during the hearing, we did hear mentioned a lot that they have been very interested in our nuclear power plants. They have communicated non-verbally that they are capable of interfering with our nuclear capabilities, that they can shut down our nuclear plants and stuff without really having to make them. Well, I guess he did say that they are being very obvious about it, but yeah. Last but not least, they did mention interdimensional beings during the hearing, which I feel like is one of the most outlandish theories out there. Entities from other dimensions interacting with our world. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, perhaps I could be just reading a little bit too much into it, but you know, things with like ghosts and stuff. What if they're related to other paranormals? Wouldn't that be interesting? You always hear about like ghostly energy, spiritual energy. What if they're able to prove the existence of that? I think that would be too much all at once, personally. If they were humans, it would make sense for them to be concerned with the environment too. That is very true. I didn't think about it from that angle. It could be like maybe not necessarily adversaries, but just other nations developing these really advanced tech to you know, monitor our nuclear capabilities, but also not in the sense of like, hey, you know, we want to see what you guys are up to, but rather like, hey, we want to make sure that like nothing is gonna happen, nothing will happen. Because what was I gonna say? There's something I wanted to connect that to. Lost my train of thought. Nuclear. Oh yeah, that would explain why maybe they haven't tried communicating with us verbally. I mean, it could just be aliens, maybe they don't have a way to communicate with us verbally, they don't want to. But it could also be that by verbal communication, oh yeah, the timer's up. Let's go ahead and close it. By not communicating verbally, they're not really giving away what nation they may be part of. Alright, so 66% of you guys said that it is advanced alien technology, or advanced human technology, sorry. 16% said that aliens are concerned for the environment, and the other 16% said that aliens are interdimensional beings. Ooh, I think the interdimensional beings is probably one of the more fun theories. We did hear a lot about aliens, the UAPs specifically, being near the waters, possibly. I think if you look through some of like the Navy or like Marine recounts, they mention like orbs. I think they might have said this immaculate constellation. The orbs are coming out of the ocean, and if like you know, like if our vehicles, I guess for lack of a better word, try to get near it, they get attacked like way before they even realize that they're getting attacked. I saw something about like aliens and whales, but I couldn't find that link again. I wrote it down. Wasn't there something about aliens and whales? LOL, but I couldn't find anything about it. But wouldn't it be weird if, I think the idea before the hearing was tossed around of aquatic non-human intelligence? I would actually be pissed off if it was aquatic non-human intelligence. Like, you're telling me that you've been here this whole time and you didn't like say anything? Like, excuse me? What is this, Star Trek 4? Wouldn't it be nice if it could be like Star Trek? All of us just getting along? That would be really nice. I mean, I don't know if like everybody gets along in Star Trek, but it seems like for the most part, like their crew seems rather diverse. I think that would be nice to have. Wouldn't it be awesome to have like a diverse space crew? Imagine like all of the leaps in like astronomy that we can have if these guys would just show themselves. Yeah, but this is the last slide. I would say regardless. Wait. I hope I can do this. Regardless if aliens are watching, I think it's up to us to protect our planet. And that way we can maintain autonomy of what happens here and the way that we should. I encourage you to make small changes for environmental conservation. I know that maybe that there's not a lot that we can do on the individual scale regarding nuclear warfare. But hey, you know, maybe just a small change in the environment could help give us another day of autonomy. I think, what did they say? I think there was mentioned specifically that, you know, they're just kind of letting us do our own thing. They're observing us. They are acting as a, what do you call it? Zookeepers. They're the zookeepers. We're the animals. As long as the animals aren't fighting, our zookeepers would be happy and they'll let us be in our little enclosure. Was this topic interesting for you guys? Well, if so, like I said, you can use !source to get to the folder. I've uploaded all the slides into the folder, and as well as all of the links that I've referenced. But there's another thing that I want to show you guys. Tomorrow! This was just released today. I think they just announced this today. Tomorrow there will be both an open and closed hearing from the United States Senate Committee on the Armed Forces. An open/closed hearing to receive testimony on the activities of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, also known as AARO. There will be a hearing on AARO, which investigates UAPs, UFOs, all that sort of stuff. I think in the testimony they mentioned that AARO was one of the perpetrators of witness intimidation. Will they talk about that? I don't really know. Probably not. But you do have the director of AARO who will be speaking as a witness under oath. So yeah, that's really interesting. This, I believe, is also linked in the document. So if you're hoping to watch this tomorrow, check in on I think it probably just Google AARO hearing. Hopefully it'll show up. But yeah, tomorrow, November 19th at 4:30 p.m. they're going to be doing a hearing. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for jumping into this crazy little conspiracy hole with me. Mitsuki, thanks so much for stopping by. We actually just wrapped up on this crazy conspiracy. I hope you guys had fun. It was so much fun for me to research all of this, look into it, plan out like the little bits and stuff. I hope that the alien bit caught. I don't know. I was looking at the audio monitoring and it didn't really look too clean. If not, whatever. Just know that the key was environmental protection. I hope that that's the takeaway that you guys get from today. Doesn't matter if aliens are here or not, but I think that they're concerned with the environment. If allegedly outside life forces are concerned for our environment, I think that we should be too. Like, we're the ones who live here after all. If they're coming all the way across the stars to be like, hey dude, what the fuck is going on over here? I think it's kind of an embarrassment on humanity's part. Maybe we should get our act together. Okie dokie. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and find somebody for us to raid, if you guys don't mind sitting back for a second. Before I go, let me share with you the schedule for this week. Alright, here's our schedule. Today we have Disclosure is Imminent, Boomer Summit number 5. I don't know when our next Boomer Summit will be. Basically, whenever I find something interesting to talk about. But I hope to see you for the next one. I hope you've been having fun with this like new rehashed Boomer Summit. I've been having a lot of fun putting like all this effort into it. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing Sacrifice Sanctuary for Naomi Cielo's her festival. I've been calling it what was I calling it? Festival? I think that's what I was calling it, but it's Festival. Sometimes I wonder if I can read properly. I swear that I'm like looking at like words and I'm like, no, it looks this way. And then I look back at it and I'm like, how did I read it so wrong? That's not what it says at all. So we're going to be doing Sacrifice Sanctuary tomorrow at 9 o'clock p.m. If you don't know Sacrifice Sanctuary, think of it as a scary survivor. Scary survivor, or like scary Total Drama Island, or like scary Big Brother on Roblox. I really wanted to schedule in some time for us to do that Minecraft session that we talked about last stream, but unfortunately I'm gonna go visit like my family in Thanksgiving, so I have to get like packing, and I also have to go get some last minute like holiday gifts. So visiting family and friends, I gotta go get some holiday gifts. I have to go out shopping after work. I don't want to do it, but I have to. It's so cold outside. So no Minecraft, but I don't know when we'll do Minecraft next, but I am cooking up something that I hope will be really fun. So stay tuned in the coming weeks for some Minecraft-related news. And then on Friday, we're going to wrap it all up with our playthrough of Red Dead Redemption Episode 5. Oh my gosh, Sam, thank you so much for the support on Ko-fi. You know what? I thought that maybe the elements, like, I'll get an alert for that, but I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate your support. You've been so generous lately, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that your support is a nice treat for yourself. But don't forget to treat yourself to something, you know. But yeah, on Friday we're gonna be doing Red Dead Redemption Episode 5, and I looked through the mission list, and I would say we're on track. We're gonna be why is it so freaking small?
Roa, Seedling, subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing to the channel, Rohel. I hope I tried to read it as best as I could. It was in like 5-point font for me. Rohel, Seedling, thank you for subscribing to the channel. But yeah. Friday we're gonna do Red Dead Redemption, and we're about halfway through. I think there's like 57-ish missions, and we just wrapped up mission number 24. So we're on track to finish this within 10 episodes. Yeah, we'll be playing this a little bit after New Year, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I love Red Dead Redemption so much, guys. Oh my god. Like, when I was planning out the rest of the streams, I was like, no, I don't want to finish this game. But I have been thinking about what kind of games that I want to play after. I know that we did talk about trying the other Rockstar games, but I don't know. A part of me kind of wants to play through Kingdom Hearts. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I kind of want to play through all of them, because I've only played 2, and I heard the story is really confusing, so I want to try and understand the story. I wonder if I can. But I also remember the game being really hard, so we'll see. That's going way into the future. But yeah, tomorrow we are doing Sacrifice Sanctuary, and then on Friday, Red Dead Redemption. So I hope you look forward to that. I've always liked Kingdom Hearts. I've always loved like the ambiance of it, the mood, it has a good vibe. But if you were to ask me what's going on in the story, I have no fucking idea. I know there's something about the Heartless. Funny story about it, as I look for somebody to raid. My dad bought that game for me. I think it was on sale at GameStop, but he only bought 2. I've never heard of Kingdom Hearts before, and I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't think I touched it until I was on this website where people imagine DeviantArt, but it's just for anime. And I saw a lot of people posting fan art for Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, oh, it's an anime game? And then that's when I started playing it. If it wasn't for like people uploading their like anime fan art of Kingdom Hearts, I wouldn't have played. I don't think so. And Kingdom Hearts 2 was actually the first game that I've ever played. Not first game I've ever played. The first game I've ever beaten. So I'm not really looking forward to like the boss battles. I remember struggling with that a lot. What was his name? Not Axel. D-Mix. You know, in that mission where he has all the water, like whatever the instruments. Dance, water, dance. I was stuck on that I rage quitted. I rage quitted for like 6 months. I tried it again, and then I rage quit again, and then I picked it back up. And when I picked it back up for that second time, maybe like 3 tries, I got it, and that's when I finished the game. And that was like the very first video game that I've ever beat, and I was very proud of that. Yes, it was the time limit, and you had like all of those enemies and stuff. Oh my god. Yeah, I have. Okay, I like preemptively I bought the entire like series. I have it, so maybe like if you guys are into it, we could probably start it straight up after Red Dead. I have 1.5 plus 2.5 remix, 2.8 final chapter, and then 3 plus remind. What is these titles, dude? What the fuck are these titles? I'm very much looking forward to, I don't know, I think it'll be fun to try and understand the story together and, like, you know, just sit through it and try and get it, because I mean, jumping in from 2, I really didn't know what was going on, and I heard that it doesn't really get any better. I've only played the first 3 games. I had 2. I had the one on Game Boy with the little cards, but sorry, I'm supposed to find somebody to raid. But when I was like using the cards, they had I was in Agrabah or something, and when I was using the cards, like, I think I ran out of one that I needed, and I collected all the cards on the map, so I couldn't leave. So I got stuck, so I never continued playing that one. And then I had 365 over 2 days. I don't know why I stopped that one. And then I also had Birth by Sleep, and I think I ran into another boss battle. I think it was fighting the Master. I was playing as... what's the brown hair guy? I wasn't playing as Aqua. Terra? Is it Terra? It's Aqua, Terra, and Ventus, right? I think Ventus is the Roxas lookalike. I think I was playing as Terra because I thought he was the most boring. So I was like, oh, I'll just do his first. Never beat it. Never beat it. But I heard that the ones that they uploaded onto the Steam that has the cutscenes of the side games, but it has the... I think the gameplay for the main ones? I'm not really sure. But yeah, we could play it. I think we'll play it. I think that'll be fun. Chain of Memories! That's what it was! I think the mechanics were pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know. I had fun, but I also didn't really like it. Anyways, we are going to go ahead and send the raid over to Xander, who's playing Silent Hill 2 Remake, a blind playthrough, part 5. So, I really don't know much about Silent Hill. I just know that it's a scary game, so maybe it'll be fun for us to jump through what seems to be the middle, part 5 out of what? Probably middle or closer to the end. Oh yeah, don't forget, I'm going to do this one last time. Before I leave, let me hide my schedule. And let's bring this back up. Yes, I want to thank you guys all for joining me on this strange little conspiracy rabbit hole. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun researching this and, like, you know, trying to come up with my own theories. Don't forget to use !source to, it will get links to all the sources I referenced, as well as the slides in this document if there's, like, anything that you want to take a closer look at. It's a deep rabbit hole, so have fun, stay curious, and be skeptical. Yeah. If you've been sitting down for as long as I have, make sure you give your body a nice big stretch. We believe. I sure hope so. I hope so. Or else the aliens are going to come and then they're going to be like, you guys, they're going to put us in timeout if we can't take care of our environment. Maybe that's why they're showing up a lot more. They're like, you guys really aren't listening, are you? I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be so freaking embarrassed if that's why they came over here. Like, oh my god. It's like, you know, when you have the substitute teacher or something, or like you have a teacher, they leave the room and then they come back and they're like, hey, I thought I told you guys to behave. If you've been sitting down for as long as I have, give your body a nice big stretch. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Drink some water. I should probably... I need to stay hydrated because I talked a lot today. And last but not least, treat yourself to something nice. Something nice and environmentally sustainable, yeah? For example, don't give out the nuclear codes to your neighbor. Maybe. Great presentation. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Make sure you give Xander lots of love, and maybe if he seems a little scared, hold his hand through the playthrough. Until I see you next time, take care. Bye! Stay till the end. end, I got something cool.